All right, I think we're live. I think we're good to go. So, welcome back to another episode of the Tempest Rising podcast. I have turned on automatic captioning for the video, so I'm hoping it works. And I also need to remember to speak properly, not with my usual Leicester accent, so that the captions work properly. So, last couple of weeks, we've looked at some biohacking tools that I like to use for sort of day-to-day general wellness. Today, we're going to look at a couple of meditation tools. Obviously, you don't need tools to meditate, but it can help quite a lot, and it can help take the practice to another level, particularly if you're someone who is meditating for a specific purpose and you have an aim with your practice as well. I think meditation is quite a funny thing for most people. It's often thought of as this kind of hippie, stress-busting junk that people don't really understand, or it's something that's reserved for monks and Zen masters. So Western people often scoff at meditation because it's something they don't really understand. But thankfully, more and more people are becoming aware of the benefits and they're taking up the practice. And we're getting more educated as a society about its role in health and mental health in particular. It's not something that has to be tied to religion or social status or gender or age or, anything like that. It's simply a skill that can be practiced to improve how you think and how you feel, improve how your mind works, how your body feels. Most people meditate for stress busting reasons, which is great. But we can go beyond that. There are so many ways to meditate and so many different styles, all with different outcomes. So as you learn and you practice, you'll experiment and you'll find things that work well for you. But it always helps to understand why you're doing something. I think that most people take up meditation and they sit there, they try and be still, they try not to think, and they have a horrible experience and then they never do it again. Whereas other people may do it once, have a real enlightening experience, and then spend forever chasing after that same experience only to get frustrated when they can't recreate those feelings. Which is a key point, because we need to know why we're meditating, but not actively force the process. Because when we force, we get stressed, which creates a huge shift in our brain waves, and we end up in a high beta state, which is what we're looking to get away from during our meditation. We can meditate to deal with stress, to get present, to increase our awareness, to help with sleep, anxiety, overall wellness. But one of the biggest things we can do, which I've spoken about before in a previous podcast, is to use meditation as a means of future pacing. So to create neural pathways which we need to be able to take action to bring about whatever it is we want from our future. And that's really powerful stuff. And for me, that should be one of the core components of your meditative practice. It's something that we should all do, and then kind of support it with a series of other smaller meditations for day-to-day living and just dealing with situational things, which is what we teach within the Limitless programs. I personally started meditating probably 5 years ago, properly 5 years ago. It started, as it did for most people, a guided YouTube audio where I fell asleep, and that was pretty much that. And rather than a meditation habit, I ended up with a nap habit, which was great for my rest and my recovery, but it didn't do anything to train my mind and my emotions. I did have a previous experience, probably 14, 15 years ago, with a Reiki master, where he tried to teach me a very traditional meditation to sit still, to breathe and empty the mind, which was horrendous for me, because as someone with a very active mind who thinks a lot, trying to think of nothing is impossible, because we have billions of thoughts every day. And in attempting to stop them, we just end up fighting a losing battle. So instead, we want to learn to be aware of them, but not give them our full focus. So there's a huge difference. And I think that removes a lot of the pressure of meditating and trying to get it right, because there is no right or wrong. There's just different experiences. So as I started to work with a coach and my practices developed, I started to explore different types of tools. I'm going to show you a couple of them now. So the first one is an app called the Insight Timer. So I'm going to show you. So it's a little app called the Insight Timer. You can log in, create a little account, and you've got a series of things. So there's guided meditations, there's all kinds of different stuff. But the one I use the most is the timer. So you can create a timer and you can set it up to go off at intervals, at the start of your meditation, at the end, through different transitions, through different phases. There's all kinds of stuff you can do on there. It's a really good app, and it's free unless you go for like the upgraded options. But it's really good to track your consistency in your daily meditations. So it's really worth getting. You don't need the upgraded bits unless you want them, but for a nice timer that can be customized and for tracking a consistent habit, it's really useful. After that, once I started to get more interested in the science behind meditation, the neuroscience of it, I wanted to know what was actually happening in my brain while I was meditating. So I got a Muse headband, which is one of these. I've had this for a year and a half, maybe 2 years. I've had it for quite a while now. I kind of got it on and off chance, and I used it a little bit, and then I stopped using it for a while, as you do with most things. And then it's become a part of my daily meditation again within the last probably 3 months or so. When you first get it, you get the Muse app, which is a meditation app. You can set it for a time period and you meditate to sounds of your choice, so nature sounds. And then as you meditate, it kind of tracks your brain activity. So if your brain is doing a lot, you start to get thunderstorms and noises and things. And then obviously it brings your awareness to it, and your job is to try and bring it back down to a calm level. It awards you points for being able to return to a calm state. And it's quite a nice app, but it kind of wasn't really enough for me. And I quickly got bored of it. But from working with my coach, I learned that you can actually take it further. You can use different apps with that headband, and you can get really detailed brainwave data, and then you can see it in a graph, so you can actually see what's going on within your brain, and you can track the progress, you can track the different brainwaves and stuff. And I've experimented with it quite a lot, but it's a really useful piece of kit. You put it on your head, it's Bluetooth to your phone, tracks the data depending on whether you're using the original Muse app or a different app. And you can, use it to figure out what's actually going on in your brain, which, is a really incredible tool. And it takes the meditation away from some la-di-da, practice into something completely different. It becomes the same as training your physical fitness. You can train your mental fitness as well, which is something most of us don't think about doing. We know that we can train the body, we track it, we can track our food, we can track our training progress, we use heart rate monitors, we use step monitors, we use all these different things to train our bodies to be better, but very few people actually train their mind to be better. We can train our thoughts and our feelings, because they're the things that have the greatest impact on our lives. It's far more powerful than just training the body alone. So obviously, this is something that I can waffle on about all day. So we're going to end this here. But I want you to let me know in the comments what kind of tools you use for meditation, and what styles you practice, what your experiences are. Is it something you want to try, something you have tried, something you do regularly? Just let me know your experiences in the comments, and let's start a little bit of a dialogue. So I'll see you guys very soon. Have a great day.